All right, we're on the record. It is May 6, 2019. This is Judge Wish, Courtroom 1, Session 1. Can I please have the parties announce themselves for the record?
Good morning, Edith Bush for the Office of the State Attorney.
Good morning, Your Honor. Cody Jordan with the Office of the Public Defender.
Ma'am, I ain't did nothing wrong though, ma'am.
All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Special Blue,
All right, Mr. Blue.
they took me to jail for nothing, ma'am. I just had my dick out to piss.
You're here in
Not the piss,
2019
fuck
MO.
girl.
So it's like 839AO. You're arrested for indecent conduct. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you.
I don't need no public defender. Oh, I got a public defender? I don't need no public defender though, ma'am.
I believe you're all representing him in 2 other cases that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And so, sir, you're not to go back to the Grand Apartments at 300 East South Street or have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. I'm gonna stay the bond at the $250. Looks
Well,
like he
I-
has
I- I-
competency
I don't need
hearings
no
on
bond, ma'am.
July 10th and
I
July
ain't did nothing wrong,
15th.
ma'am.
So
I
I'm
ain't
not
did
gonna
nothing wrong,
take
but
any
did
action
all
on
together
the
five,
out on bond
88225
I'm not taking action. He has competency statuses in those cases in July.
Sir, Your Honor, what did you,
I took no action on the out on
Thank you,
bond
Your Honor.
cases. He has statuses set in
Yes.
those cases, but I am staying the bond. All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Tamir Michael Jones.
All right, Mr. Jones. You're here in 2019 MM 3752AO. You were arrested for battery. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim in the case. You're not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Your bond will remain set at the $500. I'm not sure if you're allowed to go back to Central Florida Behavioral Hospital, but if they've trespassed you, you cannot go back there, okay?
should we put in the obey all trespass?
Sorry?
Obey all trespass orders?
Yeah, I mean, if
Yes.
he's been trespassed, he has to obey all trespass warnings. I don't believe there's anything in there, but please tell me your name, sir.
Jordan Redden.
Or Mr. Redden, you're here in 2019 CF 6416AO. You're arrested for tampering with a witness to hinder communication to law enforcement and grand theft third degree of a motor vehicle. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender's office. You're not to go back to any Lynx bus station. You're not to get on any Lynx bus. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. You're not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Your bonds will be stayed at $1,000 on count 1 and $150 on count 2.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Please tell me your name. Sir, please tell me your name.
Jonathan Alvarez, ma'am. Sorry.
Do we know what happened to Mr. Alcim? All right, we'll take no action. was your name, sir, again?
Alvarez, Jonathan
Okay.
Alvarez, ma'am.
Mr. Alvarez, you're here in a couple cases. In 2019 CF 6486AO, you're arrested for burglary of a conveyance. (2019) CF 6487AO, you're arrested for burglary of a dwelling or structure or a conveyance as armed, looks like a conveyance, and grand theft of a firearm. 2019 CF 6488AO, you were arrested for burglary of an unoccupied conveyance. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. I have one more. In 2019 CF 6489AO, burglary of an unoccupied conveyance.
Your Honor,
I don't have all these supplements. There's no victims named in any of the reports.
Your Honor,
I believe this was,
I did, and it may have been the co-defendant's reports that the victims' names are contained.
I know that there was another one that I did read.
And the state would ask, as that's before the court this morning as well, under the same agency number, that the court, and I have to, it's Mr.
It's
Perez.
Mr. Perez.
I would ask the court to, and I can print out additional copies of Mr. Perez's reports, or the court could take judicial notice of the documentation contained within those reports that do actually list the victims. And I believe that in Mr. Alvarez, if I'm not mistaken, in Mr. Alvarez's case, in 2019 CF 6487, there is mention of the victim, and I thought that I saw it. And in the full arrest affidavit document on the victim witness page.
Right, but for Mr. Alvarez, the only victim, it says, I made contact with victim/witness.
And on the victim witness form.
I don't have that.
The victim is listed as Helena
do
Gorgone
that.
and lists an address of 833 Daisy Hill Court. And if the
There's
court
two
would-
there's two victims listed.
And the other is Matthew Gorgone at the
Which
same
case are you
address,
referencing?
and their husband and wife, Your Honor.
Oh, is that the 6487 case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I believe, just based on the affidavit in Mr. Perez's cases, I believe that each of these matters do have, and they do, each of them have on the witness form, and I can print that witness form
I
out for the
actually do
court.
have it shockingly, because I never do.
And within the body of the affidavits, they have the address, and then these witnesses are listed, or these victims are listed at those addresses.
That's the co-defendant's case.
No, Your Honor, at this point, I'm looking at Mr. Alvarez's cases.
Okay, and I don't see any other addresses other than the 959 Daisy Hill Court in any of the reports. It's all the same exact report for every single additional case. It's basically the same report. I mean, it is the same report.
Your Honor, as additional probable cause, the state would offer to the court the arrest affidavits contained in 2019 CF 6459AO. And the state, and I believe defense counsel has the same affidavit, as opposed to the state requesting an additional 24 hours to
I
get.
still don't think that that's sufficient, because they're talking about a different defendant completely in the body of the,
Different defendant and different arrest.
so if the state's asking for
The state is
additional
asking
time,
for
okay.
24 hours to obtain those supplemental
I'm gonna
reports.
grant that request. I did appoint the public defender's office in each of those cases though, okay? So we'll reset this one for tomorrow. Yeah. Mhm. Nope.
Your Honor, and we would ask that the defendant be released and pending that hearing.
No. Yeah, so the state will have 24 hours to produce supplemental documentation as to Mr. Alvarez's cases. All right, please tell me your name, sir.
McGuire Bailey.
Mr. Bailey, you're here in 2019 CF 6468AO. You're arrested for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, carrying a concealed firearm, possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender's office.
Your Honor. As to his charge of carrying a concealed firearm, I'd offer the police affidavit does mention that the firearm was visible from the window, and I also offer the fact that it was not carried on his person, but in the rear of the truck that he was allegedly driving. So in both cases, I would think that would disqualify the,
Well, just because something's
Carrying a concealed-
visible doesn't necessarily mean that if it's
Not
visible to an
concealed.
officer, it doesn't necessarily mean it's visible to a reasonable, normal person who's not law enforcement for pursuant to the case law. State, do you have any arguments as to the fact that it was in the rear compartment of the vehicle?
Actually, Your Honor, there is case law that comes to mind, and I cannot bring it up, but the case law specifically says that a weapon can be a concealed weapon, even if law enforcement can observe it.
Well, that's what I
when they
just said,
walk
but
up.
I meant
Yes.
for purposes of it being in the back of the vehicle,
Your Honor.
within
it-
reach, it has to be
was-
within reach.
It was still within reach, and it was concealed, Your Honor, from public view.
Okay, let me re-review it really quickly to determine whether or not, because it doesn't indicate that it was in reach.
I believe it was a large car, and then also the fact that, I mean, technically he was arrested outside the car,
Well, that doesn't matter.
but when he was in the driver's seat, it was in the back.
It says,
under a blanket.
I observed a red and colored blanket on the right rear floorboard. I could then see the middle part trigger of a gray and colored firearm. So the firearm was covered but concealed for purposes of a regular person, I guess, observing it. Law enforcement is, trained to look for those things.
And, Your Honor,
I
this-
think the fact that it was on the rear floorboard, which is not on the back seat, but closest to what would be the seat in the front.
And, Your Honor, the state would also argue that the interior compartment of a vehicle, the rear and the front, the driver, passenger, front driver and passenger can access the rear compartment of a motor vehicle, Your Honor.
Yeah, I mean, it's not in the trunk and it's, yeah. So I do find probable cause. I do appreciate the argument, but I do find probable cause. You're not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. The bonds will remain the same, $4,000 on count 1, $150 on counts 2 and 3, and $100 on count 4. Please tell me your name. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Mr. Barley?
Yes.
Okay. 2019 CF 6495, you arrested for possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of methamphetamine with intent to sell or deliver. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you, not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. Your bonds will remain the same. Count 1 at 150, count 2 115,000 on count 3.
Seemed like a lot.
Please tell me your name.
Ma'am,
Tell me your name.
Michael Jerome Bell.
All right, Mr. Bell. Doesn't look like you qualify for the Public Defender's Office, so I cannot appoint them to represent you today, okay? You're here in 2019 CF 6471AO. You're arrested for grand theft third degree of a motor vehicle, dealing in stolen property, and grand theft third degree. I do find probable cause. You're not to return back to 20 North Orange Blossom Trail, that GCR Tire Services, or 1312 West Washington Street, GEM Supply Company. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim, witness, or any co-defendant. Your bonds will remain the same on count 1 at 150, and count 2 2,500, and count 3 150. Please tell me your name.
Alexis Bonnet.
Mr. What is
Alexis
it?
Bonnet.
Bonnet?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, sir, you're here in 2019 CF 6473AL. You're arrested for possession of methamphetamine. I do find probable cause. I'm gonna appoint the Public Defender's Office. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. Your bond will remain stayed at $1,000. Please tell me your name.
Igeria Evans.
All right, Ms. Evans, you're here in 2019 CF 6469 AO. You were arrested for dealing in stolen property, trafficking. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim, witness, or any co-defendant. You're to comply with any DCF investigation. You're not to return back to 1312 West Washington Street, that GEM Supply Company, or 20 North Orange Blossom Trail, GCR Tire Services. I'm gonna place you in pretrial release.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Thank
You
you.
need to comply with all of their
Of course.
requirements, okay? Because
Yes,
if you
ma'am.
don't, they can file an affidavit,
Yes,
and then
ma'am.
you can get revoked, okay?
Thank you so
All right.
much. You have a good day.
Good morning. I was wondering if I qualify for pretrial as well. I take care of my elderly grandmother,
What's your name, sir?
Stacy Foster.
No, you do not. All right, in 2019 CF 6479 AO, you're arrested for possession of cocaine and trespass on property other than a structure or conveyance. I do find probable cause. I'm gonna appoint the public defender's office. You're not to return back to Food Lotto at 2060 Americana Boulevard. You're to abide by any trespass warnings. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription, and you're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. Your bonds will remain stayed at $1,000 on count one and $150 on count. I'll reduce that to $100 on count two. All right, please tell me your name.
Tracy Michael.
All right, Mr. Michael, you're here in 2019 CF 6449 AO. You were arrested for possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. I'm gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you. I'm gonna stay your bonds at $1,000 on count one, $100 on count two. Now, the case that you're out on release on, Mr. Michael, Judge Carter granted your ROR motion on April 17th. Part of those conditions of your release is not to commit new law offenses. So I'm revoking that. 2019 MM 2721 and setting it at no bond. Sorry, Mr. Jordan.
Never mind. Your Honor.
Okay. I might not have taken any action, but I mean, the motion for ROR was granted
I was
just
only
the
going
other
to say
day.
that he did spend a significant time in jail before that motion was granted.
Well, I understand that, but it was it was a motion for, it wasn't
No, I understand.
a 33-day motion. It was a motion for non-monetary release. So. Please tell me your name.
My name is Amanda Myers.
Ms. Myers, you're here in 2019 CF 6448 AO. You're arrested for possession of MDMA. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. I'm staying the bond at $1,000. Please tell me your name.
Ed Luis Perez, ma'am.
Do we know what happened to Miss Prose? She's next. He was before her. Oh, okay. What was your name again, sir?
Ed Luis Perez, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Perez. All right, Mr. Perez, you're here in, looks like 4 cases, 2019 CF 6458 AO. In that case, you were arrested for burglary of an unoccupied conveyance, grand theft, 3rd degree of a motor vehicle. I do find probable cause. I'm gonna appoint the PD in all your cases for you, okay? In 2019 CF 6459 AO, you're arrested for burglary of a conveyance armed and grand theft of a firearm. I do find probable cause.
Your Honor,
Yes.
as to case number 19 CJ 2459.
6459?
6459,
Sorry.
yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
My mistake. I do have some argument as to the armed burglary.
Okay,
In case Barrett v. State, in the 4th DCA, 983 SO 2D 795, I have shared this case with the state. The issue in this case is whether or not they came in possession of the firearm during the burglary. The firearm was allegedly in a gun safe taken out of one of the vehicles. That case clearly demonstrates that where a person steals a safe containing a gun,
do you have a copy of the case?
I'm afraid I couldn't get the printer to work. I'm very sorry, Your Honor.
Your Honor, the state did print a copy of Barrett, and the state also printed a copy of Garcia Gutierrez.
I mean, it is,
Is a case that which is a distinguishing case.
okay, let Mr. Jordan finish his argument.
Right. So, for an armed burglary,
Am I looking at Barrett first?
yes.
Okay, that's your case? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. It is, the defendant needs to be in possession of a firearm or come into a possession of a firearm during a burglary for it to be heightened to an armed burglary. They don't need to possess the firearm before committing the burglary. They can come into possession of it during the burglary, and that is the alleged situation in this case. There was a gun that came out of a car, but according to the police report, the woman reports that her husband's gun was taken, and it is in a gun safe that was located in the car, but the gun safe was taken. In this situation, common sense prevail. They're not in possession of a firearm. It's in a gun safe. They're in possession of the safe, which has the firearm. They're unable to use the firearm in practice of the burglary. But what Barrett does say is that they need to be aware of it, they need to have physical possession of it, or be able to come into physical possession of it. And in that case, because the gun was taken and it was in a safe, it did not rise to an armed burglary because they only came into possession of the gun afterwards when they were able to crack open the safe. The same principle applies here. Knowledge that there could be a gun in a gun safe is not enough to say that they are in possession of a gun. I'm not contesting the theft of a firearm charge.
All right, I've read your case. Let me briefly read the state's case.
And Your Honor, the state only printed the second case because it was the flag on Barrett as I was trying to
And that's
quickly read Barrett.
It's a Minnesota case.
And yes, Your Honor, it's a Minnesota case, and essentially, it just says that in Minnesota, their statute is very similar to Florida statute, or becomes armed in the commission of a burglary. And the state's only response to Barrett is, in Barrett was talking about a safe contained within a business. A safe that is designed to hold many things, unlike a gun safe that is contained within an automobile. And,
Well, does it distinguish that in the case?
no, Your Honor,
Okay.
the state's argument in the distinction is that the difference between the safe in Barrett and the safe in this matter is, in the car, this was specifically a vehicle gun safe. And when it was taken during the course of the burglary, the defendants came into possession or armed themselves in the course of the burglary. However, the state has not had enough time to review the case law and to see if there is any other distinguishing case law. So the state at this time is going to ask the court to find, in the plain language of the statute, to find that probable cause does exist, as Mr. Perez did arm himself during the course of the burglary.
Your Honor, for the defense, a common sense reading of the statute would indicate that the enhancement charge of the difference between a burglary, where one is involved in a grand theft of a firearm, and a burglary, armed burglary due to a grand theft of a firearm, is whether or not that person can use said firearm, or whether that person comes in physical possession of said firearm, and ability to use it. Even unloaded guns can be used threateningly and dangerously. But in this case, a gun inside a safe, whether it's a gun safe or, in the case of my case, it was not a very large safe, and the safe was taken off the premises before it was opened. Because if it had been opened on the premises and the gun taken, there would be no argument that it would be an armed burglary. In this case, because the gun safe was unopened, because the gun was unable to be physically possessed and used as a gun, there's no PC for armed burglary.
All right, having reviewed Barrett and I understand the state hasn't had the time to review any additional case law, but at this point, based on the Barrett case, I'm gonna find that there's not probable cause for count 1 in 6459 AO.
Your Honor, the state would ask the court to find probable cause for burglary of a conveyance.
That's what I'm about to do. So I do find probable cause for burglary of a conveyance, not an armed burglary. And I do find probable cause for count 2, which is the theft of the firearm. In 2019, CF 6460AO, you were arrested for burglary of an unoccupied conveyance. I do find probable cause for that. In 2019, CF 6462AO, you were arrested for burglary of an unoccupied conveyance. I do find probable cause for that. I believe I said initially that was appointing the public defender in each case. In 2019, 6458, in all the cases, you're not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. You're not to return back to Daisy Hill Court or anywhere at the Quail Estates subdivision. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim, witness, or your co-defendant, Mr. Alvarez. Your bonds will remain set at $3,500 and $150 in the 6458. And 6459, your bond on count one will be $5,000. Count two,
Your Honor? No PC on count one?
I found it for burglary of a conveyance.
Oh, I see, I see.
Yeah, the lesser included?
Yes.
And $2,500 on count two. 2019 CF 6460AO, $3,500. 2019 CF 6462, $3,500. I think that was all the cases. Is this Ms. Prose?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You're here in 2019 CF 6474AO. You're arrested for possession of methamphetamine. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription, and your bond will be set at $1,000.
Okay, thank you.
Please tell me your name, sir.
Harry Williams Rosario.
Mr. Rosario, you're here in 2019 CT 979W. You're arrested for DUI with 2 prior convictions. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. I'm going to place you in pretrial release, sir. This means you're not to possess any illegal substances without a valid prescription. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol. You'll be subject to random urinalysis and random alcohol testing through pretrial release. So make sure that you follow all of their conditions, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Junior Vincent, ma'am?
Mr. Vincent, you're here in 2019 CF 6447AO. You're arrested for possession of a controlled substance. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. Your bond will remain set at $1,000. Please tell me your name.
Brother Weaver.
Mr. Weaver, you're here in 2019 CF 6463. You're arrested for burglary of an occupied dwelling, grand theft 3rd degree, and trespass on a designated construction site, and loitering or prowling. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender's office. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. You're not to return back to 500 Richmond Street. You're not to return back to 509 Delaney Park Drive. Your bonds will remain set at $5,000 on count 1, $150 on counts 2 and 3, and count 4 at $100. You're out on bond for similar, out on pretrial release, sorry, for similar offenses. I'm revoking that and setting it at none. Do we have a form? we're done. Please tell me your name.
Trayvon.
You, Mr. Williams? 2019 CF 6478AO. You're arrested for possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, and resisting an officer without violence. I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. Staying your bond at $1,000 on count 1, $100 on counts 2 and 3.
Your Honor, given his lack of criminal history and the fact that he's 18 years old, I'd ask that he be allowed to do ROR.
Does he not qualify for pretrial release? Just says spoke with defendant's mother who verified address,
I was surprised. I'm not sure why.
and he doesn't have any prior history.
They did update it, yes, he does.
Okay, I'm gonna place him in pretrial release, okay? So, Mr. Williams, you can't possess any illegal substances without a valid prescription, so they're gonna drug test you, okay? They usually don't do that for 30 to 40 days, so that doesn't mean that you can smoke it, though, or consume it, all right? It's automatic, once, yeah, I've spoken with pretrial release, so they do it automatically if you're not to possess or consume. I learned all these things the other day. All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Javon Zanders.
All right, Mr. Zanders, you're here in 2019 CF 6470AO. You're arrested for dealing in stolen property. It's a trafficking offense. You're not to return back to 1312 West Washington Street, the GEM Supply Company. You're not to return back to 20 North Orange Blossom Trail. That's the GCR Tire Services. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim, witness, or co-defendant. I'm gonna appoint the PD if I didn't say that, and I'm gonna place you in pretrial release. Need to make sure that you comply with all of their requirements, okay, sir?
Your Honor, did you say no return to 318 Beach Avenue, or did you say Orange Blossom?
1312 West Washington and 20 North Orange Blossom Trail?
Never mind, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Please tell me your name.
I'm Eric Swicker.
All right, sir, you're here in 2018 CF 15232AO. You were arrested pursuant to a Capias, for failing to appear for your case management on February 18th, 2019. The judge in that case revoked your bond and set your bond at none in both counts. Does he have the PD? Okay, it looks like you have Regional Conflict Counsel.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you need to call them and let them know that you're here with no bond. They can
Okay.
file any appropriate motions. Nothing I can do for you today, okay? I can't change the Capias. I'm not permitted to by the law, okay? So, but I'm not gonna take any action on your out on bond cases because I really can't do anything about that, but you need to contact your attorneys, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, please tell me your name.
Freddie Cannon.
Mr. Cannon, you're here in 2019 MO 8460. You're arrested for open container violation and 2 counts of state misdemeanors. And I do find probable cause. I'm gonna appoint the public defender. Was there an offer for Mr. Cannon if he wants to try and resolve his case today?
Yes, Your Honor, it would be an adjudication of guilt, 5 days, 2 days credit time served.
And I would have to impose court costs, so, Mr. Cannon, I'm not sure if you want to accept that offer, but it's up to you. I think he would get out Wednesday? All right, Mr. Cannon, did you want to enter a no contest plea?
Yes.
All right, I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom? Need you to speak out loud because we're being recorded.
Yes, it is.
All right. Did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
I'm sorry.
Did you understand everything contained within
Yes.
the plea form?
Yes,
Do you
I did.
understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will subject you to deportation?
All right. Yes.
All right. I do find a factual basis for you to enter the pleas to each count based on the affidavit and the court file. I am going to adjudicate you guilty on each count, sentence you to 5 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. Each count will run concurrent. I do have to impose court costs. I'm gonna order you pay those by May 6, 2020. That gives you a year to pay them off. If you want to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one would be appointed for you, sir, okay? Good luck
Yes.
to you. You put that it's concurrent, or, oh, okay, I just want to make sure. 'Cause it's- All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Brian Michael Thomas.
Do we know what happened to Mr. Haddon?
Mental health, Your Honor.
We'll reset him. Mr. Thomas. You're here in 2019 CO 5180. You were arrested for soliciting without a permit. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the public defender's office. Is there an offer for Mr. Thomas if he wants to resolve his case today?
Yes, Your Honor, it's an adjudication, 5 days, 2 days credit time served. And court costs.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, the public defender was appointed.
Yeah. Mhm. All right, Mr. Thomas, do you want to enter a no contest plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes.
I do find a factual basis for you to enter the plea based on the affidavit. I'm gonna adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 5 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. I do have to impose court costs. I'm gonna order you pay those by May 6, 2020. It gives you a year to pay them off. If you want to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Please tell me your name.
Shanae Washington.
All right, Ms. Washington, you're here in 2019 MO 8480. You were arrested for an open container violation. I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office. Is there an offer for Ms. Washington?
Yes, Your Honor, it's 4 days, 2 days credit time served and court costs.
I mean, take it.
All right, Ms. Washington, do you want to enter a plea of no contest?
Would you say, Your
You're
Honor?
going to enter a plea of no contest?
No contest, yes.
All right, I'm showing you this plea form. Is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No, Your Honor.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, I do find a factual basis for you to enter the plea based on the affidavit. I am going to adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 4 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. I do have to impose court costs. I'm going to order you pay those by May 6, 2020, because you're a year to pay them off. If you want to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one would be appointed for you, ma'am, okay?
Yes.
Good luck to you. Please tell me your name.
Anthony Wheeler.
All right, Mr. Wheeler, you're here in 2019 MO 8490. You were arrested for an open container violation. I do find probable cause. You did not fill out a form for the public defender. Is there an offer for Mr. Wheeler to resolve his case?
Yes, Your Honor, it's a withhold of adjudication, credit time served, as he has no listed criminal history.
Okay, so sir, it's a withhold of adjudication, which means it's not a conviction, and it's credit for time served. I think you have 2 days in, so you get credit for the 2 days. You get out today, and I would have to impose court costs. I'll give you a year to pay him off. Do you want to accept that offer and enter a plea?
What is the time? What is the amount of payment?
I'm sorry, you got to speak up.
What is the amount of payment that I have to?
What would be his court costs? $223, and I'd give you a year to pay him off.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay. I just need you to sign that plea form. And Mr. Wheeler, you're comfortable entering the plea without an attorney?
Yes.
Okay. And we're gonna have to do the plea, so just hang on. I'm gonna enter a plea of no contest for you, okay? I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom? You need to speak up, because we're being recorded. Was this your signature at the bottom of the
Yes,
plea
sure.
form? Did you understand everything that was contained within the plea form?
Yes.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes.
And are you on probation anywhere? Are you on probation anywhere?
Yeah. Probation.
Huh?
Yes.
Where are you on probation?
If I,
Are you on probation
no,
anywhere?
no,
Okay,
no,
I
I'm
just
not
need to
on
make
probation.
sure, because
Yeah.
if you are, it could violate you. So
Yeah.
I just need to make sure that you are not on probation. So you're not on probation.
No.
Okay.
No, my honor.
You understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea could subject you, will subject you to deportation.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. I do find a factual basis for you to enter the plea. I'm going to withhold adjudication, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. I do have to impose court costs. I'm going to order that you pay those by May 6, 2020. Gives you a year to pay them off, all right? If you want to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one would be appointed for you. Okay?
Yes.
Good luck to you. Please tell me your name.
Ian Adams.
Mr. Adams, you're here in 2019 MM 3806AO. You were arrested for resisting an officer without violence. I do find probable cause. Did you fill out a form for the public defender?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Do you want to see if there's an offer from the state?
What is the state offering?
I don't know. I'm asking if you want to hear an offer from the state to resolve your case today.
Sure.
Okay.
Does he want?
He said sure.
It's an adjudication of guilt, 5 days, Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served, and court costs.
So the state's offers an adjudication of guilt, 5 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served, and I would have to impose court costs, or I would just stay the bond at the $500. I don't believe you qualify for pretrial release.
No, he does not, Your Honor.
Yes, I haven't been arrested in.
I'm sorry, you gotta speak up, sir.
I haven't been arrested in this state for anything.
Okay, but you do have an outstanding warrant from Maryland for failing to appear. You have traffic offenses, fraudulent offenses. There's a warrant for extradition out of surrounding states only. So I'm not sure what the reason is that because you haven't been arrested here. That's the offer from the state today, or I can just stay the bond at the $500. It's whatever,
How much time would I have to pay the $500?
huh?
How much time would I have to pay for the $500?
I can't hear you.
How much time would I have to pay the $500?
Well, that's your bond amount.
Okay.
That's what you would have to pay to get out of jail. You'd have to contact a bondsman, or you pay the cash bond.
Okay. I have to get contact with someone to get the money.
Okay, do you want me to just stay the bond?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stay the bond for you, sir, at the $500. You did not fill out a form for the public defender, so I can't appoint them unless you want me to see if you qualify, and you do want me to appoint them.
Well, I'll just pay the bond.
Okay,
So
all
I can
right.
Go back to work.
Please tell me your name.
Michael Coleman.
Do we know what happened to Mr. Blanchard? Behavior. All right, we'll reset Mr. Blanchard. Mr. Coleman?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Mr. Coleman, you're here in 2019 MM 3808AO. You were arrested for resisting an officer without violence. I do find probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you.
Thank you.
Is there an offer for Mr. Coleman?
Yes, Your Honor, it's an adjudication of guilt, 7 days Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served, and court costs.
So that's the offer from the state, or I'll stay the bond if you want me to stay the bond at the $500. It's up to you. And I believe he does have a hold for Seminole County. It's probably a probation hold. So if he's on probation, I probably wouldn't accept the offer.
Did we get a bond, sir? We're not.
I was waiting to,
No, we're not, he does want to take the plea.
yeah,
So-
I would hope not, but,
Right, and then we need bond set.
yeah, I was waiting to hear a decision from you.
Yes.
So the bond is gonna stay at the $500, okay?
But how do I close this case?
All right, please tell me your name, sir.
William Lopez, ma'am.
Do we know what happened to Mr. Fernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
He bonded?
Fernandez. Wait. Oh,
Okay, thank you. Take no action. Mr. Lopez?
yes, ma'am.
You're here in 2019 MM 3795 AO. You're arrested for trespass on property after warning. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Lopez if he wanted to resolve his case today?
Yes, Your Honor, adjudication of guilt, 15 days, 2 days credit time served, no return to the Circle K on South Goldenrod Road, abide by all trespass warnings, and this offer is given taking into account that he's out on bond or release in 2 matters.
I would like to resolve it, but I need to get out today. How you doing, man? Did you hear any of that?
No.
Okay. I said I have a 93-year-old grandmother that I'm her only caretaker. Right as we speak, she's probably wondering where I'm at. That's fine. I understand I was not supposed to go to the property. That's good. I just need to go home today, by any means necessary.
Sir, you don't want to say anything.
I'm not lying, so it doesn't matter to me. Yes, ma'am. That's
Okay,
that's
so-
where I live at, ma'am. That's
Okay.
what I need to know.
Well, I
Whether
don't
it be
think that-
bond,
I
time
don't-
served, whatever, I need to go home
Okay, well,
today to
you're-
take.
Sir, I'm not gonna give you time served. The state's offer is 15 days with credit for 2 days time served. The basis of their offer is not unreasonable. You're out on bond in 2 cases,
Yes, ma'am.
serious cases.
I know, ma'am, but I followed all the rules and the laws of it, and I know where my court
Well, you've
dates
gotten
are.
rearrested, so that's,
You're right,
you know,
ma'am.
that's
You're
part
right.
of the conditions of your release is not to pick up new law offenses.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'll stay your bond at the $500, Mr. Lopez.
Okay,
You're
so that's
not
it.
to return back to the Circle K at 701 South Goldenrod Road in Orlando, Florida. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. You're to abide by any and all trespass warnings. Do we know if those cases have been charged on?
One moment, Your Honor.
Yeah, they both have, I believe, Your Honor.
Huh?
They both have.
They've both been filed on?
Yes, ma'am. I'm just waiting on my Ted's trial. Oh,
Your Honor, in 10589, there's a competency hearing set
Okay.
for May 17th.
Okay, I'm not gonna take any action on those cases, on the out on bond cases, based on the state's indication of the competency issues. But Mr. Lopez, listen to me. Do not come back. If you come back, it's likely your bond will be revoked,
Yes, ma'am.
okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Or your
Thank you.
release will be revoked.
Thank you very much. Okay, do I need to sign anything? Okay, God bless you. Thank you.
Please tell me your name, sir.
Connor Michael O'Hanlon.
All right, sir, you're here in 2019 MM 299AA. You're arrested for petty theft. I do find probable cause. You did not fill out a form for the public defender's office. Did you plan on hiring your own attorney, or do you want to see if the state has an offer for you today? I don't know if they will.
I would just like to know if I'm allowed to go home, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you live in Orlando?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But you have a hold for Broward County
Yes, ma'am.
with no bond? Okay. Is there an offer for Mr.
There is,
O'Hanlon?
Your Honor. It's an adjudication of guilt, 5 days, Orange County Jail, 2 days, credit time served, no return to the scene, which is the Walmart neighborhood store on Clarcono Coy Road, and abide by all trespass warnings. It appears that all merchandise was recovered.
Are you on probation in Broward?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so there's an open case there or something?
Yes, ma'am. It was
Okay.
a failure to appear. I was
Okay.
not notified that my
Okay.
lawyer dropped me.
I have nothing to do with
Yes, ma'am.
Broward County, so I can't help you with that.
Yes, ma'am.
The state's offer today is an adjudication of guilt, 5 days in the Orange County Jail with 2 days credit for time served. You can't go back to that Walmart neighborhood grocery store, and you'd have to abide by all trespass warnings. And I'll tell you, when was the hold put on him for Broward? Has he been seen by a judge for that yet, or?
It was placed yesterday.
Because Broward County has 72 hours to pick you up. That does not include the weekends, so. But he has no bond, right? Right. So,
I can just confirm, is it, I see a hold for Broward. Does he also have an open case in Brevard as well, or not?
they might have just typed it in wrong. I don't know. It's
Okay,
Broward.
so
The
he
hold
only
is
has
for-
the one?
The hold
Okay.
is for Broward. I'd have to run his history to see
Only for one, okay, thank
if
you.
there's anything in Brevard.
I didn't. I think he's just talking to him as a friend of the court. And Mr. Jordan, I didn't appoint you, but if you're acting as a friend of the court, make sure that you know you're not representing him. You didn't fill out the form, and I didn't appoint you, so.
I don't understand, I'm
Okay.
just explaining to him.
And I would stay the bond at the 250 if he does not want to enter the plea, but he's still going to be held here until Broward comes and picks him up, and so,
I think that's the confusion, is how
Yeah.
do you get out today when you're not getting out today?
when you're not getting
No,
out today.
I don't want to know if I'm getting out today. I would like to know if Broward does not come get me within 72 hours, am I
Then you'll
allowed to be
come back
released?
before a judge again, and I don't know if there's certain steps that need to be taken, okay?
They usually pick up.
Yeah, so,
What would I need to do for 72 hours?
so you can enter the plea, or I can stay the bond, Mr. O'Hanlon. You can enter the plea, or I can stay the bond. Either way, you're gonna get held here until Broward picks you up, or 72 hours passes by and then you come back before a judge. But if you resolve this case today, this is the only day you can resolve it unless and until the state files an information on it, because then you would have to come back to court. If you resolve it today, it would be done and over with. But that's really up to you, because that's a decision that you have to make.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to resolve the case.
Okay,
today.
so, and Mr. Jordan, I know you're not representing him, but I will explain to him that petty theft is an enhanceable offense, okay? So every time that you get an adjudication, it gets to a higher level of offense,
I'm sorry,
okay?
what's an adjudication, ma'am?
Adjudication is a conviction.
Yes, ma'am.
So you would be adjudicated guilty. Once you get 2 petty theft adjudications, it then becomes a felony the next time around. So it just gets worse. So
Okay.
you just need to understand that before you enter a plea.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not sure, it doesn't show that you have any convictions.
No prior convictions, Your Honor.
No, ma'am.
I see 3 unknowns, but I don't know if those are just your arrests or anything like that. So
I-
you'd be the only one to know if you have any prior petty theft or theft convictions.
No, I
Okay?
do not have any petty
So
theft or
this
theft
would be then your
convictions.
first one. I just need you to be cognizant of that,
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. O'Hanlon, you want to enter a no contest plea?
Yes, ma'am, that would
Okay.
result in a $250 bond if they do not come get me within 72 hours.
Well, that Broward County has nothing to do with this case, okay? This case, I would set your bond at $250. If you want to resolve it, this resolves it and you never have to come back to court for this again. The Broward County case is something completely different and you have no bond on that case.
So to be clear, that's 3 separate things. Either resolving the case today or getting released out on bond. And unrelated to that is the 72-hour hold. So
I
you
would
just
like
agreed
to
to
get
resolve
released
that.
on bond.
Okay, he wants to get released on bond.
Okay, I can give you the $250 bond, but you're not getting released because you have a hold for Broward.
Yes, ma'am, but
So either way, you're sitting
even
here.
if they do not come within 72 hours, I'm still held here until they come?
You'd have to come back before a judge.
After the 72 hours is over?
Yes, and
Yes,
we
ma'am.
determine if they've contacted the court and said, we are coming, we need to hold him longer. I mean, there's
Yes, ma'am.
all sorts of scenarios that can happen.
Yes, ma'am.
If you want to resolve this case today and never have to come back to court again for it, then you can enter the plea. This case will go away. You'll only have the Broward case. They'll come and pick you up, and then you'll go back to Broward and deal with your case there.
Okay.
Does
Yes,
that
ma'am.
make sense?
Yes,
If you
ma'am.
do not want to enter the plea, I will impose the $250 bond. You can post it, but you're not getting out.
Yes, ma'am.
Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what do you want to do?
Whatever would be in my best.
Well, I can't tell you that because I can't give you any legal advice. You haven't filled out a form for the public defender's office to represent you, so Mr. Jordan's been very friendly and nice and acted as a friend of the court. If you want me to see if you will qualify for the public defender, which I think you probably will, then I can appoint them to represent you, and maybe he can give you some legal advice that he hasn't already given you. I don't know if he has any additional legal advice that he hasn't already given you.
Whatever would be easiest to get this over with.
Well,
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
what you want to do and what you think is in your best interest after speaking with Mr. Jordan and after me telling you what your options are. But I cannot give you any legal advice. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the public defender?
I believe he wants to end it today, and I would only put on the record, his only concern is he has no prior convictions, and this is an adjudication.
Okay. Ms. Bush, are you willing to concede to will withhold because he has no prior
is concerned of some arrests, which include fleeing and attempting to elude law enforcement officer. And it was taking that into consideration.
Well, we don't know any facts
and-
of that, and he's not convicted of it.
And no,
yeah.
we do not know the facts of that, but we do know that there is an open Broward County matter that is pending, and those are unknown arrests, and that is what the state factored in, and the state would stand with its offer.
Okay. Well, the court would make the offer, the same offer as the state, and I would withhold adjudication if that's the holdup here and that's what you're really concerned about. So I see no prior convictions. I don't know any facts related to what happened with the fleeing and eluding. My guess is that all of those same charges came out of the same case.
Yes, ma'am.
And they were resolved favorably for you. So,
I
if,
think those might actually be from the Broward.
is that the Broward
Those
case?
might be
Okay.
Broward.
case.
Okay,
At
so
least
there's
from
been
what
no
I was
resolution
seeing.
in that case, okay? You're gonna go back to Broward and you're gonna deal with that case. So, that would be the state's offer if you want to accept that.
What would that do exactly?
I would withhold adjudication. I would sentence you to 5 days with a credit for,
Withholding arrests, like,
Your Honor, may the state.
yes, ma'am.
May the state approach with counsel as a friend of the court.
Mr. Cody. Well, I'd place him on 1 day non-reporting probation. I mean, if that's what we're dealing with here. He has no prior convictions. He's going back to Broward County to deal with these cases. Yeah.
Okay, well, my only concern was if the court was going to do a withhold with the state's 5-day, I don't believe that's a legal.
Okay, well, I would do it 1 day non-reporting probation. Mr. Jordan, do you want to explain that to him? If not, I can explain it.
Or it, Your Honor, it could just be 2 days without that probation.
2 days, 2 days.
Or withhold of adjudication, credit time served of 2
Well, that's
days.
fine. I mean, I feel like we're arguing over
No,
petty
no, I
things.
just didn't want to see a 5-day sentence.
Well, I mean, he's sitting here anyway. He's gonna be sitting here for a couple days anyway. So I would do a withhold credit for time served. You're not getting out. You're
Yes,
going to you're going to Broward County, okay? So it would be a credit for time served offer, a withhold of adjudication, meaning not a conviction, okay?
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
not an enhanceable offense at that point
Thank you.
because it's a withhold, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Is that what you wanna do?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. O'Hanlon, I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I do find a factual basis for you to enter the plea. This is the court's offer. I am going to withhold adjudication, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You cannot go back to the Walmart neighborhood grocery store at 5559 Clarkona Ocoee Road, okay?
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
not go back there. You're to abide by any and all trespass warnings if you were provided any.
Yes, ma'am.
If you want to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, and I do have to impose court costs. I'm gonna order you pay those by May 6, 2020. Gives you a year to pay them off, okay? And then Broward should come and pick you up. I don't know when you saw a judge. Was it yesterday?
I haven't seen a judge
Okay.
yet, Your Honor.
So, Okay?
Thank you.
Good luck to you. Thank you, Mr.
Good evening,
Jordan.
Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. All right, please tell me your name.
Bernice Ruth.
All right, Miss Ruth, you're here in 2019 MM 3802 AO. You're arrested for battery, criminal mischief, less than 200, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender. Actually, I did have an issue. State, I don't know if you have any argument. There's just no indication that anybody was hurt, or if they were, who they were.
Your Honor, the state would ask the court to find a lesser included offense of assault as opposed to battery. The affidavit clearly says that she began throwing items cursing at everyone and throwing items at the employees,
Okay.
including Chopra.
I don't know who those people are.
Your Honor, including Chopra, and Chopra is the manager of the store, which is contained in the first sentence.
Mr. Jordan.
That was, I'll leave it to the discretion of the court.
All right, I'll find the lesser included of assault. You're not to return back, ma'am, to 4305 North Pine Hills Road, that's 7-Eleven. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. You're not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Your bond on count 1 will be at $250, and counts 2 and 3, $100. It's 450, right? All right, sir, please tell me your name. Please tell me your name, sir. Do you need headphones?
Jerry Sneed.
Okay, Mr. Sneed. You're here in 2019 MM 3803. You were arrested for possession of cannabis.
Your Honor,
Oh, okay.
hearing issues.
Sorry.
Don't apologize. You're fine.
Getting old.
You're fine.
You may, yes, you may
Can you
proceed.
hear me now?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right, Mr. Sneed, you're here in 2019 MM 3803 AO. You're arrested for possession of cannabis, less than 20 grams, and resisting an officer without violence. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender's office. Is there an offer for Mr. Sneed if he wants to resolve his case today?
Yes, Your Honor, it's an adjudication of guilt, 5 days Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served, and 1 year driver's license suspension.
So when you get adjudicated, Mr. Sneed, of the possession of cannabis, it comes with a 1-year driver's license suspension. And I would have to impose court costs. So that's the state's offer today. Are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Your Honor, is the PD appointed to this case?
I did appoint the PD, yes.
spoken with my client about the offer. He is willing to take the adjudication, 5 days with credit for 2 days' time served. And of course, the remaining factors, the driver's license suspension and court costs.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Sneed, you want to enter a plea of no contest?
Yes,
Okay, I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom?
yes, it
Do
is.
you understand everything contained within the plea form?
Yes, I
Do you
do.
understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes,
Are you on probation anywhere?
no,
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will subject you to deportation?
okay,
Yes? Okay.
yes.
All right, I do find a factual basis for you to enter the pleas to both counts. I am going to adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 5 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. The adjudication on count 1 does come with a 1-year driver's license suspension. These counts are going to run concurrent. I'm going to order that you pay your court costs by May 6, 2020. That gives you a year to pay them off. If you want to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, sir. Okay?
Okay, thank
Great.
you.
Good luck to you. Please tell me your name.
Siobhan Spencer.
All right. You're here in 2019 MM 439AW. You're arrested for petty theft. I do find probable cause. Going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Spencer?
Yes, Your Honor. The offer is an adjudication, 15 days, Orange County Jail, 2 days credit time served, no return to the Walmart at 10500 West Colonial Drive in Ocoee, Florida. Abide by all trespass warnings. And no contact with co-defendant. I am looking, though, Your Honor, it appears that the co-defendant might be related, same last name. So the state withdraws that.
I'm not going to take any action on the out on bond. It hasn't been filed on, but.
Your Honor, he's not going to take the offer.
Okay.
We would be requesting a monetary condition of release.
So the bond amount based on the out on bond cases will be $1,000. You're not to return back to Walmart at 10500 West Colonial Drive in, looks like, is that a Coe? Coe, Florida. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim. All right.
And Your Honor, may we have abide by any trespass
Yes.
warnings?
Abides by any trespass warnings. And
Thank you, Your Honor.
Please tell me your name.
Jose Padilla.
All right, sir, you're here. You were picked up on an out-of-county warrant out of Seminole County. Looks like your bond is set at none in that case, and Seminole County has 24 hours to come and pick you up, okay?
Okay.
Please tell me your name.
Sean Santos?
Mr. Santos, you're here. You were picked up on an out-of-county warrant. Looks like, is that Volusia County? Volusia County. And your bond is set at none in that case. And so Volusia County has 72 hours to come and pick you up. That does not include the weekends. I don't think that will affect you. And I'm not gonna take any action on the out-on-bond case because I have no idea what happened in Volusia County, okay?
So I have 72 hours?
They have 72 hours to come and pick you up. Please tell me your name.
Well, that Crystal Bethea, she's gonna help me, Your Honor.
Okay.
That,
Looks, hold on. Sorry, hold on. So, this has been reset for Ms. Bethea. So I am gonna appoint the Public Defender's Office. Mr. Jordan, do you wanna waive her appearance? It's an MO case, so if she wants to, do you want me to set a status?
Yes, Your Honor, if you could
Okay.
set a status.
So we'll set a status in a week for Ms. Bethea. I do find probable cause for her arrest for state misdemeanors. Her bond will remain set at the $500. I've appointed the public defender, and she's not to return back to the Greyhound bus station or have any contact with any listed witness or victim there.
And Your Honor, just for the record, I would object to the hearing with her not present.
Well, that's what we have an agreement, well, we've met with your supervisors, and so that's why we're setting statuses.
Okay, good.
Because she can plea on an MO or a CO case, and so, I don't know if there's an offer from the state today, or if that will extend, but usually you all can communicate, and maybe in a couple days she'll be well enough to,
Discuss.
yes, okay?
Thank you.
And that's kind of what we've been doing on these cases when they're not coming to court, so they don't get lost,
Absolutely.
okay?
Bill Don, Rob, she's gonna help as well.
I don't. Thank you. I need that filled out. Okay. Ms. Gildon. We'll reset her one more time on the felony case. All right, are you Mr. Hopper?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hopper? Okay. Mr. Hopper, you're here in 2019 MO 840AO. You were arrested for urinating in public. I do find probable cause for the offense. Did you fill out a form for the public defender?
Yes, ma'am. And
I don't, huh? Oh, okay, yes, they were appointed yesterday, okay, I'm gonna appoint, well, the PD's been appointed. Was there an offer for Mr. Hopper?
Yes, Your Honor, it was an adjudication, credit time served.
Sure.
Thank you. It was a, okay. Thinking about a different case. All right, Mr. Hopper, you want to enter a plea of no contest? Do you want to enter a plea of no contest?
Yes,
You got to speak up, okay?
yes, ma'am.
All right, do you understand? Is this your signature at the bottom of the plea form? Can you hear me?
Probably gonna have to hold it.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is this your signature at the bottom of the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
All right. Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will subject you to deportation?
Sorry.
No. Did you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I do find a factual basis for you to enter the plea. I am going to adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to, is it two or 3 days?
3 days.
3 days? 3 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 3 days' time served. I do have to impose court costs. I'm gonna order you pay those by May 6, 2020. If you want to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one would be appointed for you. And it looks like you have a notice to appear for petty theft, and you have a court date coming up. You know about the court date?
Yes, ma'am.
Make sure you do not miss that court date, okay?
So am I be able to be released, right?
Yeah, unless you have any other hold on you, the notice to appear shouldn't be a hold.
Okay.
Close it, yeah, he'll be released. It'll be closed out.
Let me make sure you know your court date.
Yes, ma'am.
It looks like it might have been today.
It's showing pretrial on 5/9 at 8:30 a.m. in front of Judge Bigney, 12C.
Yes, ma'am.
So 8:30 on 5/9. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
That's the date I'm showing in the Odyssey. Today is, I think, the reset from yesterday. So, okay, so don't miss your court date. All right, please tell me your name.
Kristen Kelly.
Is your last name Kristen or first name?
My first name's Kristen.
For-
My last name's
okay.
Kelly.
Okay, they have it reversed, okay. You're here in 2019 CF 6423AO. Looks like this is a reset, from yesterday, allowing the state 24 hours as to probable cause.
Yes, Your Honor. It appears that the representative here yesterday did attempt to, did send an email to the deputy. There has been no response at this time. The state is not asking for an additional 24 hours. The state is merely asking to have this reset to this afternoon to, and would cite the extraordinary circumstance of not knowing if the deputy was on duty to receive that email, but the state does have available court report review at this time to attempt to get the additional probable
Okay,
cause.
I'm not sure what probable cause was missing from the probable cause,
This
because,
says no PC was found for burglary
Burglary.
of a dwelling. And
when.
I read through it.
Yeah,
I wasn't,
looks like there was
Wasn't
a
sure.
gate, and they entered through the gate, which is
Yes, Your Honor.
surrounding the home, and they then committed an aggravated assault with a motor vehicle.
yes, Your Honor, and that was my reading of it, but
Well, this is a different court.
Yes,
So
Your Honor.
I actually do find probable cause based on my review of the affidavit, based on what was presented to the weekend judge, and what's before me today. So I do find the probable cause, unless, Mr. Jordan, you have any other argument.
I would simply say that 24 hours is not for a different court to hear it, but additional evidence. And at
Right,
this point,
but
the state hasn't presented any.
I don't know what any other additional evidence would have been needed, because I believe that the probable cause is here.
If any additional evidence was needed, none was provided. So
Right.
I would simply ask the court to uphold the previous decision of
Okay.
no PC.
I'm not going to do that. I do find the probable cause. I don't know what additional information would have been provided by law enforcement based on all of the elements being presented in this affidavit. So I do find the probable cause. You're not to return back to 9508 Windy Ridge Road. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. You're not to possess or any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Your bonds will remain set at $2,500 on count 1 and the $5,000 on count 2. And I believe the PD was appointed yesterday.
Yes, sure.
All right, please tell me your name.
Hello, it's Mantella Rocco.
Mr. Kuntz. All right, Mr. Kuntz, I'm gonna call his case. This is a refusal, so he has absented himself from court. This was a recall from yesterday as well, in 2019 MO 841AO. It's indecent conduct. I do find probable cause. I'm gonna appoint the public defender's office. He's absented himself. So the court finds a waiver. There's to be no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. He's not to return back to the area of the Dapper Duck. Looks like Orange Avenue and Pine Street. He's not to go back to the Dapper Duck. And I'm gonna set this for a status as well, Mr. Jordan, in a week, because it's an MO case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay? I don't know if there's an offer from the state, but that's something that you can discuss with them.
And is the court staying the bond?
I did.
Thank you.
Mr. Mantella?
Mantella, yes.
Okay.
How you doing? Morning.
Mr. Mantella, you are here in 2018 MM 4574AO. You were arrested for cruelty to animals. Oh, this is actually a Capias, sorry. For failing to appear.
No, Your Honor.
No?
This is a Capia. I can.
I'm trying to
provide the
figure
court
it
with
out.
some-
Okay.
This was a bit confusing for us. as
Yeah.
well. So what we found out was this is a Capias said because the state filed a motion due to a new charge he picked up in a different county. That Capias was granted by the judge, and the judge set the bond at $0 with mental health pretrial release. The reason that the judge wants a mental health pretrial release is because currently he has been found incompetent to proceed.
Okay. Does he qualify for mental health pretrial release?
Mental health handles that. They need to evaluate.
I asked them as well, they couldn't give me an answer. But that's what the
Okay.
judge requested. So
Well-
right now, he's actually been in rehab centers, and he was taken out of that in order to come here.
Well, it says that he's to be placed on, if he qualifies, on mental health and be brought to trial division within 2 business days.
2 days, yeah.
So that, I'm sure they they flag these
Yeah.
things. So, I'm sure Judge Bigney, it's her case, will be alerted, and he'll be brought before her, within 2 business days.
Yes.
So if he does qualify, they'll evaluate him and determine whether or not he qualifies.
I was in here, yeah, I was here 2 days ago.
So it seems he's been here.
Yeah, 2 days ago I was here.
Mental health doesn't work on weekends. So they don't. They won't do it to evaluate.
Okay, so I'll contact Judge Bigney, okay? And I'll let her know that you were picked up on the Capias.
Yeah, because I was in the psych hospital and the rehab like the last time we were supposed to.
So I'll let Judge Bigney know, okay? So in case she's not aware, she will be aware. But I can't do anything about the Capias, okay?
Your Honor, McKenzie, refused.
Okay. Well, if it's mental health pretrial release, but no bond, or, but if he qualifies, that's what the Capias says. And I'm gonna let her know that he got picked up on it. Please tell me your name, sir.
Raymond Ronald Ranch, ma'am.
We'll reset, and he refused. So we'll just reset that one more time. Mr. Payne? Okay. He was behavior yesterday. We'll reset him one more time. That's a robbery with a mask. Ramos is medical. I'm just gonna call Mr. Ramos. It's an out-of-county warrant. It's out of Osceola County. He has no bond out of Osceola County, and it looks like he has 2 cases, 18 MM 3829 and 19 CF 289. Both have no bond. And Osceola County has 24 hours to pick him up. Mr. Rance? Okay. Mr. Rance, you're here in 2019 CF 6442AO. You're arrested for possession of cocaine. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. Your bond will stay at the $1,000. All right, is Mr. Andre?
What if I can do a bond?
We have a Francine Leon, she's at the,
Do we know what happened to John Andre?
she's down there, she was.
Oh, okay. All right, please tell me your name.
Maristia Francilion Drake.
I'm sorry.
I don't have this case.
I didn't hear the name.
The status here?
what was the name?
I'm sorry.
Mauricia Francilion Drake.
Yeah, do we have a case number?
Good. 2019 MO 000790 AO.
Have a moment to review that case.
And was,
I don't think we would set a status on an MM case. So this is the status. Because it's an MO. Looks
And
like
was
we
the-
set it from the IAs.
was it MO 2019?
It should have been on the
It's
docket.
29.
So we usually set these for statuses. I don't know why this was set. I signed it. I don't know if there was an offer. Were you sure if you were on probation, or was there like
Yeah.
a question about whether you were on probation or something?
No, my attorney wanted to drop my new charge, and he wanted to move my court date from the 16th up. I don't know, that's all he told me. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe, is there, maybe an offer that was made or something, we'll see. She's not on probation, is she? Okay, so maybe that was the issue. I think that's what rang a bell to me, is that, because I normally wouldn't set a status if I found PC and they were here and they didn't want to accept an offer. So I think, Mr. Jordan, what happened is that we had a question as to whether or not she was on probation, and then I think Mr. Diaz was here, and maybe they were gonna discuss whether entering a plea was in her best interest, having been on probation. We can reset it for the afternoon if you want an opportunity to go back and discuss it.
I don't believe I've been informed of any in this case, but it does look like, yes, they were originally set, but they had no offer.
I think there was an offer, and I think the issue was whether she was on probation, and
Let's reset it to this afternoon
Okay.
so I can discuss it with the
so we'll do
attorney
that.
who
We'll
handled it.
reset it for the afternoon. And that way, we can make sure that if you do enter a plea, are you interested in entering a plea or no?
Yeah. What is that? What is a plea?
Okay. Well, we're not gonna get into that right now, but Mr. Jordan can discuss with you what a plea is. Okay, so we can recall, we'll have an opportunity to speak with her after the break, okay? All right, please tell me your name. Are you Mr. Andre?
Fair. Mayor?
We have, he's
No.
another status, Your Honor.
Another status?
Yes.
Who's this?
Terrence Garrett.
Parents will tell you Garrett.
What's the case number, do we know?
I see an MO case for 2019 MO 000787 AO. I guess that's.
Reset that this afternoon.
looks like the PD was appointed on that case, and we set this for a status back on April 29th. I think it might have been the same type of situation. Mr. Garrett, do you remember why we reset this for a status? Was
No,
there an
ma'am.
offer given to you?
No, it wasn't an offer given at
There
all.
was no offer?
On the 29th, or not even today.
Okay.
Well, I'm saying they probably have one, but it
You're
hasn't
not
been
on, are you
presented
on
to me.
probation?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Is there an offer for Mr. Garrett?
Your Honor, I'm trying to.
Do you want to
pull
see the affidavit? We printed it out.
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, he's been in for how long? I don't know. 9 days? And I think that he was charged, has a felony case from the same incident?
Yes.
Okay.
His other one was revoked.
Okay.
And for some reason, what Your Honor just said sounds familiar, and I think that this matter, is it 787?
Yes.
I believe it had a related felony.
Yeah, I'm looking at the affidavit, I would believe that it had a related felony. So I think the issue was whether or not he wanted to actually enter a plea to the MO, because it's joined with the felony, and I don't know if that affects any defenses, and that might have been a discussion that Mr. Diaz was gonna have with him, but. Okay, do you wanna recall it again? Okay, we'll recall
I'd ask
this
that we recall.
again this afternoon, so that there's an opportunity to discuss.
But yes, there would be.
Is there an offer?
There
Okay.
would be an offer, yes, Your Honor.
What is that offer?
At this point, it would end up being a credit time served.
Okay, how many
with
days does he have in?
adjudication.
Okay. So, I don't know, Mr. Jordan, do you need to discuss it with him further? Probably, okay. We'll just reset that for the afternoon, okay? We'll bring it back this afternoon, Mr. Garrett.
I don't wanna come back. When I leave, I wanna,
Does he want to enter the plea, or
yeah.
you do?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you understand you do have another case that's related, so I don't know how that will affect any possible defenses that you may have, or strategy for trial if you want to, if the state files on it, so I'm sure Mr. Jordan has explained that.
I explained it, Your Honor, but
Okay.
I don't have that case in front of me.
Okay, well, I think it's a possession of MDMA,
Okay.
so,
But I did explain it to him and also discussed that we could recall it this afternoon, but he wants to move forward right now.
okay, well, we can take the plea if he wants to. Just, do you understand what I explained to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, we'll have you fill out the plea form. All right, Mr. Garrett, do you want to enter a no contest plea?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm showing you the plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes.
All right, I do find a factual basis for you to enter the plea to the charge of sitting or lying on the sidewalks in the downtown core district. I am going to adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 9 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 9 days time served. I do have to impose court costs. I'm going to order that you pay those by May 6, 2020. It gives you a year to pay them off. If you want to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, sir, okay? All right, good luck to you. All right, Mr. Andre?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Mr. Andre, this is a determination of counsel hearing. And it looks like you're still sitting in jail on the bonds. So do you want to see if you qualify, and you do qualify for the public defender's office? I am going to appoint them to represent you. Do I need to sign anything?
And Your Honor, may the state have that case number?
Sure, 2019 CF 6077AO. He did fill out the form, and so I am going to appoint them to represent you. That's it. All right, is this Mr. Burton?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Burton, did you see Judge Barber the other day?
I haven't seen no one. This is my second time back here since the
Okay.
last time.
I was,
Here for a motion.
yeah, so it looks like your attorneys have filed a motion in 19 MO 805AO to adopt the findings of incompetence and to release the defendant. I don't believe, Ms. Bush, you were here last week when we handled Mr. Burton's other cases, and Judge Barber indicated to me that she was placing him on the docket the next day. I see the court minutes, but I can't pull the court minutes up, but there was a hearing. She had just placed him on conditional release, and so she wanted to reevaluate that. I revoked his release in the felony case, not in his other misdemeanor case. I don't see the need to place him on conditional release for an MO case, so I'm just gonna ROR him on that. I know he's being supervised and he's on conditional release in the felony case.
And Your Honor, as this is a city case, Mr. McAhee did send an email and said that the city stipulates to the previous findings of incompetence.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna place him on conditional release for a municipal ordinance case, so I'm just gonna ROR him on the MO case. Okay, Mr. Burton, you need to make sure you keep all your court dates with Judge Barber and in your other misdemeanor case, okay? And in this case, if you get any court dates, make sure that the public defender knows how to get in touch with you. Follow your conditional release plans.
I always do, ma'am.
Okay, well, don't get
Always do.
rearrested. That's not part of the conditional release plan.
I know, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, and then we have a 33-day motion for Avery Jared Randall, 2019 CF 4454AO, filed by attorney Robin Barra.
Yes, Your Honor. A notice of non-filing was filed today.
So that will be granted. And then we're on to the public defender motions. 2019 CF 4583AO Johnny Earl Johnson.
A notice of non-filing was filed on May 3rd.
That will be granted. 2019 CF 4626AO Artis Adele the Fourth.
And information was filed on May 3rd. The filing ID is 88943514.
That will be denied. Killing me. 2019 CF 4580AO James Casey Skipper.
Your Honor, if I may have just one brief moment.
I believe Mr. Skipper.
A notice of non-filing was filed on May 3rd.
As to which, as to four,
I
five-
called 19 CF 4580.
Thank you.
So a notice of non-filing was filed.
Yes, Your
That
Honor.
will be granted, and then he has another case, 2019 CF 1129AO, James Casey Skipper.
On May 3rd, an information was filed. Filing ID is 88962798.
That will be denied. 2019 CF 4587, Catherine Louise Williams.
On May 3rd, an information was filed. Filing ID is 88966777.
That will be denied. 2019 CF 4590AO, Joseph Anthony Rodriguez.
And information was filed on May 3rd. Filing ID is 88948761.
That will be denied. 2019 CF 4594, Joseph Anthony Rodriguez.
And information was filed on May 3rd. Filing ID is 88979401.
That will be denied. 2019 CF 4595, same defendant, Joseph Anthony Rodriguez.
And information was filed on May 3rd. Filing ID is 88977538.
That will be denied. Same defendant in 2019 CF 4592, Joseph Anthony Rodriguez.
And information was filed on May 3rd. Filing ID is 88979766.
That will be denied. Again, Mr. Joseph Anthony Rodriguez, 2019 CF 4596.
A notice of non-filing was filed on May 3rd.
That will be granted. 2019 CF 4609AO Anthony Lee Ross.
The case was no billed on May 3rd.
That will be granted. 2019 CF 4502AO Pasquale Signano? I don't know.
And information was filed on May 3rd. Filing ID is 88984450.
That will be denied. 2019 CF 4597 Joseph Anthony Rodriguez.
And information was filed on May 3rd. Filing ID is 88966873.
And 2019 CF 2597 Wengi Elma.
A notice of non-filing was filed on May 3rd.
That will be granted.
And Your Honor, I don't know if you stated verbally Joseph Anthony Rodriguez for the 4597, the one just previously, but that was denied. Information
I
file?
said denied, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna recall Mauricia Myra Francilione Drake. And we already did the other one, we don't need to recall that. And then, all right, we are on the record. It is May 6, 2019. This is Judge Wish, Courtroom 1, Session 2. Can I have the parties please announce themselves for the record?
Good afternoon, Edith Bush for the Office of the State Attorney.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Cody Jordan with the Public Defender's Office.
All right. Oh, sorry. We're getting the headphones. All right, good afternoon, ma'am. Can you please tell me your name?
Elena Mona Yordash.
All right, ma'am, you're here in case number 2018 CF 711AO. You were arrested pursuant to a Capias for failing to appear for your pretrial conference on June 5th, 2018. The judge in that case set your bond at none. Does she have the public defender? You do have the public defender, ma'am, okay?
Okay.
She's all set. Thank you.
Restopo, Santiago, bonded, Your Honor. He's not here. Oh, okay. You took him out. Okay.
Shermatov?
We're gonna skip him. They were, I think he went to the next one.
Oh, okay. All right. Please tell me your name, sir.
Ismael Cuevas Carrasco.
Ismael Cuevas Carrasco.
All right, sir, you are here in 2019 MM 3791AO. You are arrested for petty theft. I do find probable cause. Did you fill out a form for the public defender's office?
No.
Did you want to see if you qualify for the public defender? Or do you want to see, I don't know if the state has an offer for you to resolve your case today.
Yes, Your Honor, the state does.
Did you want to see if you qualify for the public defender?
Yes.
Okay, do you work, sir?
A veces.
Sometimes.
And sometimes, where do you work?
Un labor. Labor pool.
Labor pool.
Okay, and do you make an income per month on average?
No,
Okay.
no.
No.
I'm gonna find that you qualify for the public defender based on your testimony and appoint them to represent you. Is there an offer?
Yes, Your Honor. As he has no conviction history and none of his history, even his arrest history or ordinance violation, the state's offer is a withhold of adjudication, credit time served, which I believe would be 3 days of credit time served, no return to the Walmart on South John Young Parkway, and abide by all trespass warnings.
All right, Mr. Cuevas-Garo, did you understand that?
Okay, sí.
Okay, yes.
Did you want to accept that offer? It's a withhold of adjudication and credit for time served, and you can't go back to the Walmart, and you gotta abide by any trespass warnings.
Okay.
Okay.
Cody Jordan for the defense. Can I have the translator ask if he is a United States citizen?
Residente.
excuse me, translator? So he's not a citizen?
No.
Okay. Your Honor, I've just been informed that he has not had a chance to read this form.
Okay. I'm just gonna stay the bond at the $500. You cannot go back to the Walmart at 8101 South John Young Parkway in Orlando, Florida, and you're to abide by any and all trespass warnings, okay, sir?
I believe he does wish to take the plea, he just didn't have a chance, but I understand.
Okay, well, this is why they have the forms back there.
¿Cuándo puedo salir?
When am I allowed to get out?
You have a hold for Osceola County. I have no idea, sir.
He does have a bond of 4,000 on that.
So you have a bond in the Osceola County case. If you can bond out, this offers a credit for time served offer. So if you can bond out for your other case, if not, Osceola has so much time to come and get you. I don't know when you were seen by a judge, so.
Pero yo quiero pagar esa cantidad de dinero que debo allá.
But I want to pay for the amount that I owe over there.
Okay, well, if you can bond out, you can bond out.
Tengo que hablar con mi mamá.
I have to talk to my mother.
Okay, then you're more than welcome to speak with your mother. I've set the bond at the, what was it? $500, okay? Who's?
An interpreter, this is a case from the courtroom too.
Okay. Is this De Jesus Carrasquillo?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I believe we need an interpreter for the victim. All right, sir, please tell me your name.
My name is Arturo de Jesus, Your Honor.
Is that phone ringing? Oh, okay. All right, sir, you're here in 2019 CF 6496. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause has previously been found for tampering with a witness to hinder communication to law enforcement and battery domestic violence. I am going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Ms. Bush, do you want to inquire of the witness?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm trying to find
Buenas tardes, señora.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Would you please state your name for the record?
¿Nos podría, por favor, decir su nombre para que conste en el registro?
Jennifer Jiménez.
Jennifer Jiménez.
Sí.
And Ms. Jimenez, how do you know Mr. De Jesus?
Señora Jiménez, ¿cómo es que usted conoce al señor de Jesús?
Él es mi pareja.
He's my partner.
And are you afraid of him?
¿Le tiene temor a él?
Sí.
Yes.
I have no further questions. Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Jordan,
No
any
tengo
que-
más preguntas. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Mr. Jordan, any questions for the witness?
The defense has no questions, Your Honor.
All right, I'm gonna have you sign the no contact order form. I'm gonna order that there's no contact directly or indirectly with the victim in the case.
Voy a ordenar que usted firme el formulario de prohibición de contacto, ordenándole que esté prohibido tener ningún tipo de contacto, sea directamente o indirectamente, con la víctima en esta causa.
Your Honor, could we request a one-time return?
Yeah, I'll do that at the end. I'm also gonna order no contact with the witnesses in the case as well.
También prohibido ningún tipo de contacto con los testigos que existen en esta causa.
Is there a no contact order form? Okay. All right, sir, did you understand everything contained within the no contact order form?
Señor, usted entendió. I'm
He-
sorry, Your Honor.
It's
Yes,
okay.
Your Honor.
All right, and that means no phone calls, emails, text messaging, or communication through a third party, okay? We'll just need to put the case number.
Your Honor, did you still want me to be translating this for the
Yes.
benefit of the victim?
Yes,
Esto
please.
quiere decir que usted está prohibido comunicarse por teléfono, por correos electrónicos, por mensaje de texto, ni tampoco a través de un tercero con la víctima y los testigos.
And so there's also no contact with the witnesses in the case.
Como le indiqué, prohibido ningún tipo de contacto con los testigos en la causa.
If there is a Department in Children and Families investigation, you must comply with it.
Si hay una investigación con el Departamento de Familias y Menores, usted tendrá que seguir esa causa.
No weapons, firearms, or ammunition.
Ningún tipo de arma, arma de fuego o municiones.
And you must maintain separate residences.
Prohibido convivir con la víctima.
Your bond on count 1 will be $1,500.
Con respecto al primer cargo, la fianza es $1,500.
And your bond on count 2 will be $1,000.
Y con respecto a la segunda acusación, $1,000 de fianza.
Thank you for your testimony, ma'am.
Señora, muchas gracias por su testimonio.
And
Oh, sorry, and one time, no, if you needed it, just let me
Yeah.
know. And one-time return with law enforcement, Ms. Bush, just see if we can let her know. Sorry, out there, excuse me.
Señora, usted no se oye. Por favor, regrese.
I didn't see she started to leave.
Ma'am, I'm gonna allow him to go back to the residence one time with law enforcement to get his personal belongings, so they must accompany him when he goes there, okay?
Señora, voy a permitir que él pueda regresar una vez únicamente acompañado por un agente policial para recoger sus pertenencias, pero tiene que ser acompañado por un agente policial.
Okay? All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Does he need a Spanish interpreter? It says Spanish. Okay, all right. I think we're finished with the Spanish interpreter cases.
Thank you, Your Honor. I will
Okay.
disconnect.
Thank you. All right, please, oh, you're Miss Francione Drake? Okay. We're recalling your case in 2019 MO 790AO, and this was set for a status hearing. And have we come to some sort of resolution, or?
Your Honor, I believe previously we tried to get her out on a mental health screening for PTR.
Okay,
Any knowledge if that went through or not, mental health PTR?
okay. So it's not mentioned in the court minutes, but,
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. There was some mental health concern, which I realized
Okay.
as well after speaking with her.
Yeah, she never had a detainer for that or anything in our system.
No, she currently has a bond,
right.
and we were trying to get her out on mental health PTR
Okay.
services.
They would have to screen her for that, and it can take a couple days.
I believe she's already been screened.
Okay, I don't. they're
There
not-
was never a I have no idea, it's mental health, but,
Okay.
there was never a detainer put in, so they would not have known to probably screen her
Okay,
for
do you
mental
know
health
if
PTR.
they've approved her for that, or?
The conversation I had discussed that the judge, and I'm afraid I don't know who the judge was that
It was
day.
me.
It was you?
But that's, it
And
would have been in there. It would have been in
Yeah.
there if I ordered mental
We did-
health
We
pretrial
tried to get
release.
her ROR because of competency concerns, but the compromise was trying to get her mental health PTR.
I mean, I
If
can
that
have them
hasn't-
screen her for it.
I think that was the idea we were supposed to do last time, and then set 7 days to see if she is released on that, because we didn't have that answer then.
Okay.
So we can
I'm
reset
pretty
this.
sure that that would have been in the minutes, and I wouldn't have signed it had it not indicated that.
That's the only,
The only-
that's the only indication of
okay.
why this was reset.
And Your Honor.
I think she's on probation,
on a
and that was
video.
the issue, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't know if
Think
they
that was the
could-
issue.
If they could do mental health PTR if she's here on a no bond.
And if the state could just add to what the court already stated, when she came through, it is this MO case that is one of the violations of her condition of probation.
Okay.
She was placed on probation
Right.
in March, and this, along with arrearages in payment, violated her probation.
Okay, I think what
And-
Mr. Diaz was gonna do was try and see if they were gonna speak with her probation officer to see if this would violate her, if she pled to it. I think
believe it
that's,
And
okay.
that was, now, my recollection was, but at that time, I don't believe we had the actual VOP affidavit. I pulled it up today, and this
did violate.
MO 790 is part of that VOP.
Okay, all right, so the bond will just stay set. I don't think it's a good idea for her to obviously enter any kind of a plea if it's gonna violate her.
Yes, ma'am.
So until I have some sort of other motion before me with regards to any competency, the bond will just remain set at the 250, okay?
And she is set for a VOP status on Thursday, May 16th.
Okay, so that's in 10 days. Yeah, let's do that last. All right, please tell me your name.
Robert Brown, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Brown. You're here in 2019 CF 6494AO. You were arrested for burglary of a conveyance and petty theft. I do find probable cause. You're not to return back to 2013 East Esther Street in Orlando, Florida. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. I am gonna appoint the public defender. I'm gonna stay the bonds at $3,500 on count one and $100 on count two. Please tell me your name, sir.
Robert Crumley.
All right, sir, you're here in 2019 CF 6484AO. You're arrested for a burglary of an occupied dwelling, an aggravated stalking of a child under 16. I am appointing the public defender's office to represent you. I do find probable cause. You're not to return back to 1601 Westchester Avenue.
I was never at that address, Your Honor.
Okay, well, you're not to go to that address. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or
I
witness
never have
in
had
the
contact
case.
with any of those victims.
Sir, anything that you say can and will be used against you, so be very careful what you're saying. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. You're not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Your bonds will remain set on count one at $5,000 and count two will be $2,500. You're out on bond in 2019 CF 6380AO. I am revoking the bonds and setting it at none. Does he have an attorney on that case? No, out on bond. I'm gonna appoint the public defender if you don't have an attorney on that case. Okay, I'm appointing the PD. Please tell me your name.
Giovanni Guerremos.
All right, sir, you're here in 2019 CF 6481AO. You were arrested for aggravated assault with a firearm. I do find probable cause. I cannot appoint the public defender to represent you. You do not qualify for their services. You make too much money and have too many assets. So you're gonna have to hire your own attorney or speak with your own attorney, okay? You're not to possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. You're not to return back to the Cocoa Key Resort at 7400 International Drive. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. Your bond is going to be set at $7,500.
Different county.
2019 CF 6492, it's possession of MDMA.
We don't have it. It'll get put on for tomorrow or something, because I don't have it.
I'm trying to see if I can.
This happens a lot.
It's on the face sheet.
I know, but I don't have a police report. I don't have,
To be fair, the police report says see other police report.
okay, I understand,
Yeah, it was,
but I don't have anything.
Oh, I guess.
It's very short.
What's the case number?
2019 CF 6492. And I find probable cause for possession of MDMA. I'm gonna appoint the public defender's office. You're
Your
not
Honor.
to possess or
I don't believe he qualifies.
sorry.
He's the one that did not.
Oh,
qualify.
okay. Sorry. So I cannot appoint the public defender's office. I am gonna set your bond at $150. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. I'm just gonna treat it as an additional offense, okay? Please tell me your name.
I'm Jeffrey Johnson.
All right, Mr. Johnson, you're here in 2019 CF 6497. AO, okay, can't read that writing. You were arrested for driving while license suspended with 2 prior convictions and reckless driving. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you, not to drive without a valid license. Your bonds will remain set at $2,500 on count 1 and $500 on count 2. You're out on bond in 2018 CF 18032 AO. I am revoking the bond and setting it at none. It says Ashley Dunbar. I think that's the PD.
John,
Yes.
after speaking with my client, the Ed on bond case, the 2018 case, there's been a length of time between that offense and this alleged offense.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think this is an
It's
issue.
the facts of this case that really bother me.
Certainly. His concern is he does need to, I mean, he works for his family,
Okay.
he has kids.
And he has attorneys that can file those motions that he believes need to get filed, okay?
So it's,
The facts of the case really concern me.
Okay.
Yes.
Please tell me your name, sir.
Theodore Leva.
All right, sir, you're here in 2019 CF 6490 AO. You're arrested for possession of heroin and possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. Your bond will stay at $1,000 on count 1, $100 on count 2. Please tell me your name, sir.
Ronnie David Luster.
Mr. Lester, you're here in 2019 CF 6483 AO. You're arrested for attempted burglary of a conveyance, possession of burglary tools, possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender. You're not to return back to 1355 West Gore Street in Orlando, Florida. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case. You're not to possess any illegal substances without a valid prescription. Your bonds will remain set at $1,000 on count 1 and $150 on count 2 and $100 on count 3. You're out on bond in 2018 CF 17538 AO. I'm revoking the bond and setting it at none. Please tell me your name.
Johnson Moore.
All right, sir, you're here in 2019 CF 5691 AO. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was found for grand theft, first degree of $100,000 or more. I am appointing the public defenders. Well, you did not fill out a form for the public defender. Are you planning on hiring your own attorney?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you planning on representing yourself?
No, I plan on getting a public attorney.
Okay, why didn't you fill out a form?
I thought I had a lawyer coming, but he not coming.
Okay. Do you work?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Where do you work?
I work at a chemical plant in Houston, Amtex.
How much do you make? Do you get paid weekly, bi-weekly, monthly?
Bi-weekly, every 2 weeks.
How much do you get paid every 2 weeks?
Roughly $900.
$900 every 2 weeks?
Yes,
Do you have any children that depend on you under the age of 18?
Yes, ma'am. I have
How many?
I have 2 children.
2 children? How old are they?
8 and 1.
Would he qualify? Okay, you do qualify for the public defender. I'm gonna appoint them to represent you. You're not to return back to 8001 South Orange Blossom Trail in Orlando, Florida to the Mayor's Jewelry Store. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim, witness, or any co-defendant. And I'm gonna stay your bond at the $5,000 that's set in the warrant. Just make sure you go to your court dates,
Yes, ma'am.
okay?
When is my next court date?
I don't know,
All right, thank you.
no idea. Did Parker bond out?
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor, Parker's here.
Oh,
He paid his bond, but he's in the back.
Parker bonded out on the Orange County charge. He don't have no charges with us. He has other holes.
all right. Ms. Tolentino?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, you're here in 2019 CF 6482AO. You were arrested for introducing contraband into a county facility, possession of cannabis, more than 20 grams. And in 2019 CF 6491AO, you were arrested for possession of cocaine. I do find probable cause for all of those offenses. I am going to appoint the public defender on both your cases. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. I'm going to place you in pretrial release.
Yes, ma'am.
Make sure you comply
I
with all
definitely
of their
will.
requirements, okay?
I will, Your Honor. My dear.
All right, please tell me your name.
Eddie Budal.
All right, Mr. Budal, you're here in 2019 CT 981AW. You were arrested for driving under the influence and refusal to submit to a DUI test.
Your Honor, I spoke with the state about this earlier, but my review of the statute that he was arrested under refusal to submit to a drug test or to testing requires that he have a previous conviction or he has a previous refusal. Nothing in the police report indicates that he had a previous refusal, and I couldn't find any. Let me take a look at his. Yeah, I don't see any previous convictions for DUI
It's
or
been a
any.
while since I've looked at that statute, so.
Yeah, I have a copy of the statute here if you wish to.
Okay, I'm just gonna pull it up on Westlaw.
Yeah.
Is there a state's position on that, or? Alright, I'm looking at his driving record and I don't see a prior refusal.
According to the police report, his record was looked up, but the officer did not mention.
Sorry?
According to the police report, his driving record was reviewed, but the officer didn't mention a prior refusal. I think it may have been the officer noting that refusing a DUI test is indeed, you know, there's a couple of punishments that come with that. I guess he just saw this on the menu and thought it was a misdemeanor, but in this case, it is not.
On the menu?
Yeah.
Ms. Bush?
Your Honor, I'm
There's
looking
nothing
at
on his driving history.
3161932, which requires that which states that it's unlawful to refuse. But then going
Well, I
I
mean.
do not see the disjunctive or, which even back in the day that I was a law enforcement officer, this statute had a disjunctive or between the subsections, and this seems to not have that disjunctive or.
No, it doesn't.
So, at this time, the state would concur that the statute requires a prior refusal.
And I do agree, and I don't see anything on his driving record. So I'm gonna ROR, I don't find probable cause for count 2. I'm gonna ROR him on count 2. He's not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. And I believe does he qualify for pretrial release?
He would, Your Honor, I believe. They were waiting for his prints to come back, which
Okay.
they have, so.
So I'll just do bond or PT. I'll do the $500 bond or PTR if he qualifies, okay?
He does, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll do pretrial release then. Okay, so, sir, you just gotta make sure that you comply with all of their requirements, okay? All right, please tell me your name.
Tierra Suarez.
All right, ma'am. You're here in 2019 CT 3430 and 2019 CT 3431 AO. You were arrested pursuant to, looks like, driving while license suspended or revoked with knowledge and driving under the influence. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You're not to possess or consume any illegal substances without a valid prescription. You're not to consume any alcohol. You're not to drive without a valid license. Your bonds will remain set at $1,000 on each count. Excuse me. Please tell me your name, sir.
Josh McNeil.
All right, Mr. McNeil, you're here in 2019 MM 3812 AO. You were arrested for resisting an officer without violence and loitering or prowling. I do find probable cause. I am gonna appoint the public defender. I don't know if the state has an offer for you. Do you wanna see?
See what?
To resolve your case? I don't know if they do or not.
Yes, Your Honor, we would like to see if the state has an offer in this case.
The state has no offer based on the facts of the case, Your Honor.
Okay.
It appears that there might be victims involved.
Okay, so you're not to return back to 240 Mercado Avenue in Orlando, Florida. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case.
And Your Honor, may we also have co-defendants? There appear to have been other
I don't know who those individuals are, and they're not named in the report, so. I just said listed victims or witnesses. I don't know who those individuals are, or if they even caught up with them, so, just don't go back to that location. Your bonds will remain set at 500 and 250. Please tell me your name.
Randall Scott Nicely.
All right, sir. You're here in 2019 MM 442 AW. You're arrested for loitering or prowling. I do find probable cause. I'm gonna appoint the PD. Is there an offer?
Yes, Your Honor. It's an adjudication, 5 days, 1 day credit time served. And no return to 700 Apricot Drive.
You wanna take the
Yes,
offer?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I
Okay.
do.
Was the PD appointed in this case?
Yeah. Thanks. All right, Mr., how do you say it?
Nicely.
Nicely?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Nicely, do you want to enter a no contest plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm showing you this plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, I do.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I do find a factual basis based on the affidavit in the court file. I'm gonna adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 5 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 1 day time served. You're not to return back to 700 Apricot Drive in Ocoee, Florida. And I do have to impose court costs. I'm gonna order you pay those by May 6th, 2020. It gives you a year to pay them off, okay? If you want to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Please tell me your name.
Stephen Carter.
All right, sir, you're here in 2019 MO 852AO. You're arrested for disorderly conduct. I do find probable cause. Gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Is there an offer?
And this is Mr. McCarter?
Yeah.
Thank you. The state's offer, first the state would inquire as to whether or not Mr. McCarter wishes to resolve his release, out on release case as well. And if he does, the state's offer would be an adjudication, 8 days, and credit for any time served in both matters.
Would that be a concurrent?
Yes.
I don't know what credit, how much credit does he have in the other one? That same day?
Well,
He bonded or he was released?
It was I think it was ROR,
Yeah, I believe he was released.
4/13/2019.
So he has no
And he
days
was
credit?
arrested 4/12, so.
So any days he has would be in this case.
Okay.
So he would have,
I'm sorry? Okay. Okay, so he has 3 on the other and 2 on this one.
inquire whether the state has an offer for just this case and not the other case?
Yes. Just this case would be 4 days, 2 days credit time served.
Your Honor, if he was, could I inquire as a court opinion, if he was to take the plea offer in this case, would you,
I'm not gonna
revoke
take
the
any
bond?
action
Okay.
on it.
In that case, he is willing to take the plea in this case. For
Just
the-
this one?
Just this one.
Okay.
Are you currently on probation? No. United States citizen?
You have a court date coming up, Mr. McCarter. It looks like on May 14th at 1 PM, so don't miss that.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't want the judge to issue a warrant for you, okay? All right, you want to enter a plea of no contest?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm showing you the plea form. Is this your signature at the bottom?
Yeah,
Did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
yeah,
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
yeah.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No,
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. I do find a factual basis for you to enter the plea based on the affidavit in the court file. I'm gonna adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 4 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. I do have to impose court costs. I'm gonna order that you pay those by May 6, 2020. It gives you a year to pay them off, okay?
Yeah,
If you want to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. And I'm not going to take any action on your out-on-bond case. Just don't miss your court date, okay?
can I say something? I just wanna say something about this case.
Is this Mr. Shermatov? Okay. We're trying to get an interpreter on the line. Do we know the exact language? Is it? Is, okay. Help. Mr. Jordan, do you know the exact language?
Yes, Your Honor. He pointed to the police report, which has his birthplace as Uzbekistan,
Is-
so whatever they speak. That's my
And
guess.
This Wikipedia says that they speak Uzbek and that it's a Turkic, Turkic language.
Uzbek.
Yeah,
Uzbek. Okay. Uzbek.
only language he speaks? They are unavailable after. Is that the only language he speaks?
Do you want to try it in English? Can you understand what I'm saying right now?
No, I don't understand.
Okay.
Your Honor, I don't know if he has a better understanding of Russian. Everything that I'm reading
Yeah.
is that 17 to 20% of people from Uzbekistan speak Russian. So- No.
Mr. Jordan, did you speak with him at all? Did he seem to understand any of what you tried to speak to him?
I did not have any direct conversations
Okay.
with him, and I
Do you want to, I'm gonna appoint the public defender.
I asked that we reset this for tomorrow.
Okay,
hopefully
I
with
just
translator.
don't, he has bonds. So he has $5,000 bonds on each count. So he's not being held no bond. I'm not gonna change the bonds. So, I feel more comfortable using an interpreter when we have one available, only so that he understands what we're talking about. And he's not being held no bond, so,
You're right, Your Honor. If he is, the translator part would just be to explain everything that's happening
Yeah.
to him. If we could reset this, and if he has bonded out, we can cancel it
okay, does he,
to see if we
can
we can get a
you
translator.
try and maybe explain to him that he does have that he has bonds?
Yes, Your Honor. I mean, I believe he understands he has
Okay.
bonds.
And there's conditions of those bonds?
I mean, that's gonna be the difficulties
Yeah.
is those.
He's trying to find someone.
Okay, we're gonna try in a second. Are they here for him?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Jordan? Mr. Jordan?
What are the conditions of his,
It's no return to the residence and no contact with the victim, but there's multiple victims, so it's 3 victims.
he does seem to understand, Your Honor. My only worry is just procedural. If he doesn't speak English, I don't know if he can understand everything we're saying.
All right,
If
right.
he has bonded out, we won't have to worry about it, but I simply,
Well, we can try and do the IA in English and see if he understands, and he can tell me if he doesn't understand.
I think that's the best bet to move
Okay.
forward. I'd hate to ask for a translator in case where he bonded out.
Let's try that, and then if he doesn't understand, then we'll recall it tomorrow if he hasn't bonded out. So I'm gonna just try it with him. Arlene, I'm just gonna try it, okay? So, Mr. Shermatov?
Yes.
Okay. You're here in case number 2019 CF 5891AO, okay? You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant, which probable cause was found for aggravated child abuse. There's 3 counts of that, okay? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the judge in that case,
Your Honor?
Hello? Can you, I can barely hear you. Can you speak up a little bit? Hold on one second.
I think we have an interpreter.
Okay.
No. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know. That's twice that's happened. So, I'm gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you, okay? So that's Mr. Jordan's office. so you have an attorney, okay? The judge in the case who signed the warrant sets your bond at $5,000 on each count. So you'll have to contact a bondsman, okay? Or maybe Mr. Jordan's office can help you do that. I'm not sure. You're not to have any contact with any of the victims in the case, so the 3 children who are identified as the victims, you cannot have any contact with them. You're not to return back to the residence. So you can't go back to your residence, okay, sir? I mean, I can order just maintain separate residences. Okay. I'm gonna modify that to maintain separate residences.
Yes, Your Honor. He's simply concerned about the no contact with his children.
Well, I understand that, but that's the court's order, and then that's what this court would also impose. So, this is a domestic case, so I mean, I don't know if he would understand the no contact order document that we would provide for him to sign. So he cannot have contact with the children. If you want to have contact, you're going to have your attorneys file a motion, okay? And the judge in the case can decide whether or not you can have contact, but at this time, you may not have contact. You may not have any weapons, firearms, or ammunition, okay?
Wow, and Your Honor, that was 5,000 all 3?
Yes. Huh? Yeah. Mhm. Well, I don't think he reads English, so I've advised him no contact. He's advised that he understands that. I'm guessing he understands it if he has a problem with it. Mr. Shermatov, so if you want to have contact with your children, your attorneys are going to have to file a motion with the court, okay? But right now, you may not have contact. You have to stay in separate residences. Okay? So you must follow the court's order. No weapons or firearms or ammunition. Okay? And you do have bonds, so you can post your bonds. But if you can't, your attorneys can file any appropriate motions, okay? Did you understand everything that I told you?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Okay.
Thank you.